This video is made possible thanks to our Patreons. If you would like to have your story turned into a video or a story written especially for you, be sure to take a look. Enjoy. There was a guy named Scout who worked in a small office. He was pretty good at his job, but only friendly toward people he knew. At some point, a new coworker named Nicole started working there. She had beautiful blonde hair, something Scout was instantly jealous of. He often dreamt about being a cute girl, even experimenting with it, but at the office he acted very firm and masculine to hide his true feelings. Because Nicole was new, and because of the secret jealousy, Scout pretty much ignored her and didn't bother. "I just don't see the point in making friends with someone who might not stick around for very long," he said, knowing very well that was not the real reason. But time restraints hit their projects, and now they were forced to work together. His attitude didn't change. Despite the fact that they were coworkers, Scout was constantly rude and dismissive towards Nicole, confirming his jealousy. He would ignore her during meetings, snap at her when she asked him questions, and generally make her work life unpleasant. Nicole, on the other hand, was a kind and patient person, and she tried her best to be polite and friendly towards Scout. She hoped that he would eventually warm up to her, but his behavior only seemed to get worse as time went on. Scout would often secretly look at her, and then when Nicole just happened to look back, he quickly would look away. But Nicole caught on to this, wondering what's it all about. Despite Nicole's efforts, Scout continued to be distant and unresponsive towards her every time she tried to make contact, which made it difficult for her to build a relationship. Nicole could easily handle men like Scout. She was the dominant type. But of course, in an office setting, you try to be friendly with everyone. She wondered if there was anything she could do to break down the walls he had put up. One day, during a particularly stressful project, Nicole reached her breaking point. Scout had been especially difficult to work with that day, constantly criticizing her ideas and making snarky comments. Nicole couldn't take it anymore and confronted him about his behavior. "Your rude and dismissive attitude is making it difficult, Scout. I tried to be nice with you, but I can turn into a real problem if you continue like this." Scout didn't care and laughed. He shrugged his shoulders and continued with his behavior, showing a lack of concern for her feelings and the impact of his actions on their working relationship. "Why would I listen to you, some newbie? You're weak, you can't do anything." Nicole decided to speak to their supervisor about the situation before she took matters in her own hands, hoping for a resolution that would allow them to work together professionally. If that didn't work, she knew she had to consider other options. "I told him that his rude and dismissive attitude was making it difficult for me to work with him," Nicole said to her supervisor. "He just won't stop, and for some reason he keeps staring at me as well as if he is trying to tell me something." Her supervisor knew exactly what for person Scout was. "He can be very rude to people, but there is something you can do that will instantly make him listen," she said. "There is a little secret not many people know of. He tend to look down on his female peers to act tough, but he isn't at all. Maybe putting him in his place will teach him a lesson. If he's rude again, maybe try this." She handed her a picture of Scout wearing a bra and skirt. "It's a harmless prank, but it might make him think twice before being rude to you again. Just make sure to keep the picture safe and not share it with anyone else." "Wow, I was not expecting this," Nicole said. "But this explains a lot." Since Nicole was dominant by nature, she knew exactly what to do. Scout was going to become her Sissy. A week went by. Nicole approached Scout to ask him a question about a project they were working on together. Scout was in the middle of typing out an email and seemed annoyed by the interruption. "What?" he snapped, looking up from his computer screen. Nicole hesitated for a moment, taken aback by his harsh tone. "Sorry to bother you, Scout. I just had a quick question about the client brief we received this morning." Scout let out an exasperated sigh. "Can't you just figure it out yourself? I don't have time to hold your hand through every little thing." Nicole felt her face flush with anger and embarrassment. She knew she was perfectly capable of figuring things out on her own, but she didn't appreciate the way Scout spoke to her and was trying to test him. "I just thought it might be helpful to get your input," she replied, trying to keep her voice even. Well, it's not, Scout replied dismissively. Just figure it out yourself and don't bother me again unless you absolutely have to. This was it. Nicole had enough. She knew what she had to do. Nicole started talking. Could you at least come and take a look? I have a problem I can't seem to fix. Fine, he said angrily. But oh boy, if it's about something stupid. No, it's not. It's very important. Nicole smiled. Scout got up and they both walked towards Nicole's office. While walking in a hallway, Nicole looked around and noticed there was nobody around. Perfect. She turned to Scout, who was walking behind her, and took out the picture her supervisor gave her. Scout stood still for a while, trying to process what he was looking at. Not believing it was real. How did you get this? Scout shockingly replied. This can't be real. Where did you get this from? It's definitely real, Scout. We both know it, so you better listen. I know a thing or two about your secrets. And you just happened to find the perfect match. You're going to love me for this. Scout was unable to say anything. Later, at lunch today, we are going to meet downstairs at the entrance, and I will show you not to be rude anymore. Scout was shockingly trying to come up with words. Sure, please don't show that picture to anyone. I will do whatever you want. That picture can't be shown anywhere, please, Scout replied. Just do as I say, sissy boy, and everything will be fine. Scout went back to his office. What has he gotten himself into? All he could do was stare at the clock, not knowing what would happen. Sure, he had some kind of fantasies, but he was not prepared for this. What if the picture were shared around the office? What would he do then? Eventually, it was time for lunch. Scout met up with Nicole. Glad you took it seriously. Time to listen to your queen. You really don't want that picture to be shared, do you? Scout didn't say anything. Nicole angrily shouted, Is that understood? Yes, queen, I will do as you say. All right, then, let's go to the mall together, she said. The mall? Why the mall? What are we going to do there? Oh, trust me, Scout, you are going to love this. But it's not for you to know. Just obey me like the little sissy you are. Once at the mall, they walked toward a boutique for women only. What are we doing here? Scout wondered. Do you want me to keep the picture private or not? Do as I say or else. Scout did as told, and they went inside. Now, go into the dressing room and wait for me. Scout hesitated for a moment, feeling uneasy about the situation. However, he complied with the request to avoid any potential consequences. Once inside the dressing room, Scout was wondering what he got himself into. But he had no other choice. After what seemed like hours, Nicole opened the dresser. Her entire arms were full of skirts, bras, girdles, pantyhoses, dresses, every type of female wear you could think of. Not only that, she even brought a wig, a pretty long black wig matching his own color. Now, Scout, put all of these on, one by one. I want to see how cute you look in all of them. Don't bother to complain. I know you like it. That picture didn't come from nowhere. You are now my sissy, she said. Scout had no other choice but to obey. He was in her domain now. Oh, he tried on the role of a submissive, hoping to please her and earn her approval. As he knelt before her, he felt a sense of vulnerability and surrender that he had never experienced before. See, Scout, black hair fits you very well. You just need to grow it a bit longer and you look feminine regardless. Putting on the wig almost made him feel like an actual girl. He didn't know it, but she was secretly recording him, having pictures of every piece of clothing he tried on. They spend forever trying on everything, wearing a cute red griddle with a matching bra, a pretty pink slip and a camisole, a beautiful green dress with black heels. The more things Scout put on, the more he liked it. Don't you look pretty? Nicole said, handing him more sensual clothing each time. Scout was honestly enjoying himself, and Nicole noticed it too. That's not how it works, Scout. You are not here to enjoy this. You will feel the punishment, she said, grabbing for her phone that was hidden inside the dressing room. I have a surprise for you. Nicole took her phone and showed all of the pictures and videos that were taken. Now, Scout, you are my sissy and will do everything that I say. Scout was in complete shock, but she was correct. He was her sissy now. Maybe this was the beginning of a new adventure for him. Yes, mistress. I will do as you say. Please don't share those. I will obey." "That's more like it, Scout." Nicole smiled wickedly and whispered, "I have a special task for you tonight. Get ready to serve me like never before." Scout's heart raced with excitement and anticipation, eager to please his mistress in any way possible. After a while trying on some more feminine clothes, Scout put on his office suit, and they both went back to work like nothing had happened, seemingly having had a very long lunch. Scout was very anxious. He couldn't stop thinking about the things that had just occurred in the changing room. But he tried his best to push it out of his mind and focus on his work. He couldn't tell if he was excited or horrified. Later that night, they met at Scout's apartment. This time, Nicole brought even more clothes. "Put this on. Let's make you more feminine than before." Scout did as told. "You like dressing up, right? It's time to really become a girl," she laughed. Nicole began to instruct Scout on how to walk, talk, and behave like a woman, teaching him everything. As the training progressed, Scout found himself becoming more and more comfortable in his new feminine role. This went on for a while, feeling less and less embarrassed and embracing his new identity more and more. This eventually became a weekly and later daily habit of theirs. At this point, it wasn't even about the pictures anymore. It was just his feminine lifestyle. At some point, Nicole shared those pictures she made of Scout with some of their coworkers. More and more people became aware of his secret life. But Scout was too deep in it now. He didn't care anymore. He was a sissy, and he knew it. Nicole forced him to wear girly clothes in public and eventually at work. All he could do is obey what she said. This was his life now. And just like that, Scout was wearing girly clothes at work, being sissified all because he said the wrong thing to the wrong woman. Of course, there was no denying it. Deep inside, he liked it. But he did not expect this to happen with him. He became what he dreamt of, a beautiful girl. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.